Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The Royals brought the lumber against Corey Kluber early on and then stifled the Indians in scoring opportunities to even this series up at a game apiece. Tribe has a chance to end this road trip with back-to-back series wins, and this would be a big one against Kansas City. Trevor Bauer, he's been spectacular on the road, and he'll oppose the big right-hander Chris Young next on Sports Time Ohio. The Indians are peering through the weeds and trying to sneak up on Kansas City in the American League Central Division standings. A win tonight would give them 2 out of 3 against the Royals here at Kauffman Stadium. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Kansas City's off to a very good start. 10 games over 500. And a big reason why is Eric Hosmer. You go back to last year, Hosmer batted just .270. He only had 9 homers and a career-low 58 RBIs. But when the postseason began, he took off. Hit .351, had 20 hits, had 15 runs batted in for, or 12 runs batted in their 15 postseason games. He was the ringleader for this Royals bunch.
You know, when the bright lights shine, it seems like Eric Hosmer gets better. He's hitting 4th in this lineup. I think he'd be a terrific 3rd hitter, but he's hitting 4th. He has 7 home runs. It's a tough ballpark to hit home runs in, but this guy can do it on both sides of the baseball. An excellent defender, a 2-time Gold Glove winner. He catches everything in sight. This year, 305 average, 33 ribbies. He has Morales hitting behind him this year. That certainly helps. The 2-time Gold Glove winner. You can see what he did in the postseason. He was outstanding.
All right, when we come back, why has Trevor Bauer been so effective on the road this year? Well, Andre Knott will join us to explain why when we return to Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsors of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. it looks like a beautiful night here in Kansas City as we get ready for the series finale between the Indians and the Kansas City Royals. Welcome back. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Let's go down to Andre Knott, who has more on Trevor Bauer, who starts tonight's game. And Andre, one of the big reasons that Bauer has been successful on the road this year, he's only given up 3 earned runs.
He's only given up 3 earned runs. He's got an ERA of 0.99 on the road. The one thing he told me is he struggled on the road last season, and he realized it. So when he gets in games like this and he's now on the road, he tries to establish the fastball early and not worry about that 7 pitches that he has in his repertoire. Now, speaking of the fastball, the high fastball will be big tonight. Talking to some of the Royals hitters, especially Eric Hosmer, he goes, look, we like to be aggressive, and we're going to continue being aggressive. But if we're over-aggressive against Bauer, he will kill us with that high fastball and that low curveball. So the Royals are trying to stay off the high fastball, and the hitters for the Indians are going to have to stay off the high fastball when it comes to Chris Young.
Well, you're exactly right. Both of these guys throw high fastballs, and if they get called for strikes, they're going to be in trouble early. But Bauer can mix it up with a good curveball right there, and Young has the same. But Bauer's been really good on the road. He has 3 wins taken away from him by the bullpen this year. But you can see 4-2, 297 on the road. He's been outstanding. He could actually be 4-0 on the road. He's just been out there, and he gives his team a chance to win. His last 4 starts, he's gone at least 7 innings, and they're looking for that from him tonight.
So it's Trevor Bauer against Chris Young as we match things up tonight here in Kansas City. Indians need to get the bats going. They were quieted last night. If they get them going, they've got a chance to win a big road series here in KC. Kansas City lead as Brandon Moss delivers an RBI double, and he's going to take a big turn aggressively, head for second, safe at second base, and they turn the double play, and Bourne is stuck at third. Bare hand grab, throw to first, got him. They've made almost every single defensive play. Now last night it was 2 crucial double plays turned by Kansas City that turned back the Indians as the Royals held on to win at 4-2 and even the series at a game apiece. Ready for the finale. Here's the Indians starting lineup tonight. It is brought to you by Progressive Insurance for Terry Francona. Jason Kipnis leading it off. Then it's Carlos Santana followed by Michael Brantley. Brandon Moss in the cleanup spot has hit in 4 straight with 9 hits in his last 18 at-bats. David Murphy bats 5th. Then it's Lonnie Chisenhall who's hit in 3 straight. Mike Aviles, Michael Bourne, and Roberto Perez rounded out.
Our Northern Ohio Honda dealer's starting pitcher is Chris Young. 6'10", 10-inch right-hander, signed as a free agent contract with Kansas City on March 7th. And what a find he was for Kansas City. He's 4-1, a 155 earned run average, has given up just 24 hits in his 40 2/3 innings. He's a fly ball pitcher. This is a great ballpark for him to pitch in. He had a pretty good year last year in Seattle, another big yard. So this guy, you're going to have to make him get his fastball down as a hitter and then, you know, square it up and hurt him. He'll also throw that curveball and a changeup to go as well.
At 6 feet 10 inches tall, Chris Young is the second tallest pitcher in Major League history. Only John Roush at 6'11" was taller. And the first pitch of the night is outside for ball one.
Yeah, he doesn't throw very hard. He short arms it.
Low and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Jason Kipnis just 1 for 8 in the series, but on the year a .387 average against right-handed pitching. First strike of the game, just shaves the outside edge. 3rd overall in batting average, 2nd in hits. 4th in runs, 2nd in triples. Pops this one in the air. Routine play and left for Alex Gordon. 1 down.
Let's check out that Royals defense for you tonight. It's brought to you by Chrysler. Gordon, who made that catch, is in left field. Kane is in center. Rios in right. Moustakas at third. Escobar at short. Infante at second. Hosmer at first. Perez behind the plate. A 2-time Gold Glove winner, Hosmer. This is a very good defense. Perez is back behind the plate tonight. He had yesterday off after getting hit in the mask the night before.
Hunter Wendelstedt, the crew chief at second base. David Rackley has the plate tonight. Clint Fagan at first. Bob Davidson down at third. Carlos Santana with a big swing and a miss. Santana has picked up a hit in 4 straight games. And he's quickly in the hole 0-2. Takes a called 3rd strike, and that was quick. 2 down. The keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. We talked about laying off the high fastball. Now for Trevor Bauer, trying to counter that Kansas City aggressive approach. Michael Brantley DHing tonight. Had the night off last night. Terry Francona said I had to fight him on that. He wanted to play. He said I feel like, you know, with Michael, I'd rather sit him for a day and then follow that with the DH spot. Try to get him a little breather rather than run him into the ground and maybe lose him for a week.
That's true. Look at, we're game number 53. We've got 110 to go. You know, so you think about it in the long run. Hey, let's give him a breather. What's a game or 2 cost you here? That's the right way to go about it, because he is going to be in there every day.
The 1-1. Next up for Terry will be trying to find a way to give Jason Kipnis a day off. He's played every inning of every game so far this year.
Monday. He'll have Monday off.
Scheduled
it's
off
guaranteed.
Day. Now the 2-1. Right back to Young.
Oh, good.
Nice play. Picked it. Throws it low to first, but the Royals get out of the inning. 1-2-3 go the Indians. Now Kansas City comes to bat. Ned Yost. Kansas City Royals starting lineup for him tonight, brought to you by Toyota. Alcides Escobar in the leadoff spot, followed by Mike Moustakas. Then it's Lorenzo Cain. Eric Hosmer batting .394 against the Indians this year. His cleanup. Henry Morales fifth. Alex Gordon sixth. Rios, Perez, and Infante rounded out.
Northern Ohio Honda dealer's starting pitcher Trevor Bauer making start number 11. He had a start against Kansas City earlier this year. He went 6 innings, 7 hits, and 3 runs. It was a no decision. He's looking for his first win against the Royals. 0-1 in his 4 career starts, and you look at the road ERA behind Chris Archer, who's having a spectacular year. Bauer under 1. I mean, you can't pitch any better than he has pitched on the road.
Alcides Escobar lays off the high fastball, ball 1. Swing and a miss at the off-speed pitch, and the count evens up at 1-1.
Now that's the one thing Trevor can do. He can back off and throw the curveball, the changeup, a splitter. He's got a number of different ways he can go about it to these guys early.
Just missed low and away, 2-1.
But as he said, he likes to establish that fastball.
Down low, 3 balls and a strike. Deep left field, but hooking foul. Last night, Alcides Escobar struck out twice in the ball game. It's only the 2nd time this year he has struck out multiple times in the same game. I'll give you a guess as to the other time it happened.
Against the Indians?
Against Corey Kluber.
Yeah, right.
No shame in that. Payoff pitch. Just missed, ball 4.
Let's check the Tribe defense. We have an opportunity behind Bauer tonight, brought to you by Chrysler. It looks like this. Murphy, Bourne, and Moss in the outfield. Chisenhall, Aviles on the left side. Kipnis, Santana are on the right. Perez is doing the catching. And he has been throwing the ball very well, catching 6 out of the last 10 base stealers. And this is a team that runs, Kansas City. They are 9th in the league, although they haven't been running as much as they have in the past.
Swinging a foul back. Moustakas aggressively attacking at that first pitch. Moustakas batting .455 against Cleveland this year.
Yeah, he sees this uniform. It brings the best out in him. He did it last year when he was struggling. He was hitting very high against the Indians, and he wasn't hitting under 200 against the rest of the league.
Well, a lot like Jason Kipnis, what we've seen from Moustakas is his ability to cover both sides of the plate.
Well, he was certainly locked in for the month of April when we saw him earlier. And he's still up at 320.
Good block by Perez. Throw to first. And Escobar almost strayed too far.
That was a nice pick and throw right there.
Just
you know, as a base runner, when you see the ball go in the dirt like that, your first initial response is to go to the base, second base. He did, but he had to come back sliding because Perez picked the ball.
Runner goes. Called a ball. Throw down. Oh, couldn't get the tag on him.
The ball looked like it came back a little bit. Started to sail on Perez, and by the time Aviles could come over and get it, he had to come back and apply the tag. A fastball and a good pitch to throw on. That was close, though. It was awfully close as he's looking all the way on the straight steal.
So Escobar with his 4th stolen base on the year is in scoring position now. And a 2-2 count for Moustakas. Breaking ball popped him up back. Perez gives it a look, but it's in the seats. Moustakas this year batting .322.
Twice
Early
as
into
high.
June.
That's unbelievable.
A year ago, the power numbers, the run production was there, but the overall average.
Well, and then last year he was a dead pull hitter. He tried to pull everything. I think the reason why that average is up there is he's getting more hits the opposite field or up the middle.
Wow, close pitch, but call the ball and a full count again.
Take a look at it and see what you think. See where Perez wanted to bring it down. I don't know if that was in or up.
And the payoff pitch. Swung out and missed. He chased ball 4.
There's the high fastball they're talking about laying off, and they weren't able to do it there in that situation.
66th strikeout of the year for Trevor Bauer.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout as he's going to the high fastball, and he tried to tomahawk that one. That was a ball. You're right. He helped him out. You see, you get into situations and you say, I'm going to lay off that high fastball, but boy, he wanted to drive in that run from second base, and he swung at ball 4.
Now here is Lorenzo Cain. Cain 2 for 8 in the series with a double and a run batted in. Hit the center. Bourne moving over toward left center makes the catch. Escobar will tag and go to third, but now there are 2 down. Going to bring up Eric Hosmer. We take a look at our window systems. Game time temperature 78 degrees. Light breeze once again blowing in from right field. A little more humidity today than any other day we've had in the series. Bauer deals, and a slow curve is in there for a strike.
See, this is where you have to really shut down Kansas City. 2 outs. They do a lot of damage. 41% of their runs have scored with 2 outs this year, and that's a really high number. You have a chance to put them away and get out of it, and they have a tendency to prolong the inning. They were struggling to score runs, although they had just that one big inning yesterday, the third, where they put 3 runs on the board, and they had 5 consecutive hits. But they've been struggling to push runners across.
2 balls and a strike. Two of the 3 runs that scored in that third inning, though, were both with 2 outs. Escobar, the runner at third, and the 2-1 pitch. Hosmer taking, and the count evens up at 2-2. Finally got a pitch called on the inside part of the plate.
That's a fastball right there. Good pitch. Must have been looking out over the plate. This is a guy that likes to extend, and he can drive the ball the other way. He did yesterday with a 2-out double. They want it up.
Swung on
nice.
and missed. Hosmer strikes out. Bauer fans a pair. Royals strand a runner at third. No score after 1. No score, second inning. 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for Cleveland. Our Levin player profile on Chris Young. He was a third-round pick of the Pirates way back in 2000. He's a heck of a basketball player. In fact, at one point in his career, when Pete Carroll was coaching at Sacramento, he tried to lure him out of baseball to come to the NBA. But Young decided to stick with baseball and make this his career pursuit. And all things considered, he's had a very nice
Good
career.
choice.
Bounced around. This is his 8th different organization.
Well, how about they didn't sign him until March? And here he is. I mean, he pitched in Seattle last year, and they did a nice job for him, certainly in the first half. And they didn't re-sign him. And he started the first month of the year in the bullpen and got his first win out of that bullpen. But, you know, since being in the rotation, boy, he's, wow, 3-1. He's done a great job. This is a great ballpark for him to pitch in, too.
Moss chases one, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, 5 starts in the month of May, and he was absolutely dynamite, save his last start, in which he gave up 4 runs against New York.
Well, he has picked up this rotation. Their starters have struggled. Danny Duffy on the disabled list. They were throwing simulated games today, him and Chris Medlin.
Moss sends a towering fly ball to center field. Lorenzo Cain.
That's exactly why it's a good park for him to pitch in.
Let's go down to Andre with more on Chris Young.
Terry Francona told me today before the game, he said, turn off the mile per hour when you watch Chris Young pitch. He goes, it's all deception with how tall he is and where the ball comes out. 85 feels and looks like 95. I talked to Brandon Moss, who has 3 home runs off of Young and likes hitting in this big ballpark. He said, don't bring it up until after the game. I know what I've done. I don't want to talk about it because the guy may look foolish when we get out on the plate today.
Isn't that funny?
You remember many years ago we used to play a little game called the 6 Degrees of Rick Manning.
Here we go.
Chris Young was once traded for Einar Diaz.
Really? We will see. Who's with Baltimore. That's going to drop.
That's down the line and foul. So Einar Diaz, of course, made his major league debut with the Indians.
Right.
And he was teammates with Kenny Lofton.
Okay.
Kenny Lofton, of course, was a teammate of Eddie Murray.
Sure.
Eddie Murray was a teammate once of John Lowenstein, who was
Baltimore.
a teammate of yours in your rookie year in 1975. So there you go.
You
all
go
the way
back
around.
to Steiner, huh? Einar Diaz, we'll see him. He's a coach with Baltimore tomorrow. Well done.
Murphy, a line drive towards center field, and a nice running catch by Lorenzo Cain. He got a good jump on it, and full steam ahead takes the hit away from Murphy.
That's the beauty of this outfield here. I mean, this is a big outfield. You'll play a little deeper, but look at the jump that Cain gets to come in and really makes that look easy. Murphy hit that ball on the nose. They have some great speed out there.
Lonnie Chisenhall has picked up a hit in 3 straight games. Swings and fouls it over to the Royals dugout.
This is where Lonnie's got to make him get the fastball down. Lonnie likes the ball down. And he'll tease him with a few of the off-speed pitches, maybe down there out of the zone. But try and get him to hit that ball up.
Again, a 1-1. Pop back out of play. I guess it doesn't matter, Rick, whether it's 95 or 88. A high fastball always looks hittable, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. That's the easiest pitch to see. It really is. I mean, you're sitting down there, you're zoned into that little box, all of a sudden you see it and you recognize it's going to be a fastball. You want to get after it. But you know, like deception, this is pitching. Pitching gets you out. It keeps you off balance. That is the art of pitching. Changing speeds, moving it in and out. You know, you can throw one pitch, a fastball, in and out and change it to 4 locations. It could be 2 different pitches. You know, and then you mix in a little curveball to take him off of that and a changeup, and you know, it's just not how hard you throw. It's command. It's adding on, taking something off, deceiving the hitter.
Last night was a perfect example of that with Corey Kluber. He's got a tremendous fastball, but if it's over the plate in the hitting zone, we saw first 2 pitches of the game, the Royals had a run on the board.
That's true.
Lonnie lines one to left field, and he's got a 2-out single here in the 2nd inning.
I want to see that pitch. Looked like it was low. It was a fastball, and he took him the other way with it too. You don't have to pull it. Let's see this pitch. That's down for him. See, he got a fastball down out over the plate, puts a good swing on it, gets a base hit.
Now Mike Avila steps in with 2 down. Looks at the ball down low. Despite the loss last night, the Indians have still won 11 of their last 15. Within 2 games of that 500 mark.
Well, they can win their 4th straight road series, which is something, and nobody's beaten Kansas City here at home in a series. The Indians have an opportunity to do that and have a nice 5-2 trip and feel real good about themselves heading home.
For the moment, Minnesota has moved into first place by half game. They're 32-21 after beating Boston earlier. Detroit lost their 7th straight today. They're a game over 500 now at 28-27. Hop back out of play.
Yeah, I was watching a little of that game today. They didn't look too good, did they?
Well, they're a game under 500 at home.
Yeah.
Two-one pitch. And Avila's backing away, but it's over the plate for a strike.
Going to go inside there. There it is. He's backing off. That right on the inside corner, top part of the strike zone.
Lazy pop-up. Shallow right field. In comes Rios. And the inning is over. No runs, a hit, a man left. Middle of the 2nd, no score.
Baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Bottom of the second inning. Kendry Morales will lead it off for the Royals. Morales tied for the league lead with 17 doubles. And he is 6th with those 38 runs batted in. But he's only a couple off the league lead.
Yeah, he's tied with Michael Brantley. He's really had a nice year.
Chased one down and in.
I'll tell you, and with hitting behind Hosmer, it makes Hosmer's job a little easier. He gets him some pitchers. There's a nice slider, back foot. He's very susceptible to that pitch in off the plate going down and in.
Goes back in there but bounced it. The 1-2. Breaking ball popped him up. Center fielder Michael Bourne camps under it. 1 away. The injury report brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk. And Josh Hamilton, boy, he just got to Texas and already on the DL. Ricky Nolasco, that's trouble for Minnesota.
Hamilton hurt himself on a game-winning hit. He was running it out. It didn't look like it. He'll get a month to think about it.
Alex Gordon takes a look at ball 1. Gordon so far hitless in the series. Two balls and a strike. And now ball 3. Second walk issued by Bauer. And 1 out here in the second inning. The batter will be Alex Rios. Rios signed a 1-year deal with Kansas City back on December the 19th. Ball up and in, and Rios, who missed time earlier this year with a hand that was broken when he was hit by pitch.
Yes,
probably had a flashback right there. In the dirt,
nice
nicely picked
again
by Perez.
That's 2 today. There you go. A little slider down and away. He picks.
High fly ball, left center field. Murphy over into the gap. He'll call for it and make the catch. Gordon tags and bluffs a move towards second base, but Murphy got rid of it quickly. 2 down. Salvador Perez, who sat out last night's game, said before the game last night that he felt fine and was available if needed, but Ned Yost giving him a day after that wicked foul ball that caught him in the mask in the series opener. Came off the arm of Kelvin Herrera, who can throw it up there at about 100 miles an hour.
That thing, it didn't even look like it changed directions. It went right into the mask.
Out of play to the right. You're right. Almost as if Herrera just, threw it and hit him right.
Yeah,
flush.
Right. That's exactly right.
What it felt like to him.
You know, when you look at Perez, he should have had yesterday off because, he's played in 47 of the 50 games. This guy's an everyday kind of guy, and when you take a blow like that to the head, that extra day, I'm sure helps.
The toll that catching every day exacts on the body is not lost on people who are around the game. Just ask Sandy Alomar, and that's a reason I think why Perez is probably in the midst of a 1-for-17 slump at the plate, because you go through periods where the bat feels like you're
you foul tips off your fingers or off your forearms. And how many catchers are in coaches' uniforms or managers? You know,
most of them.
So they know what it feels like.
Runner goes, 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And just for a moment, Perez couldn't find it, but he locates the ball, and the inning is over. Third strikeout for Bauer. We are scoreless through 2 in Kansas City.
Well, tomorrow the Orioles will be invading Cleveland, and it'll be Dollar Dog Night. There'll be $1 Pepsi products along with fireworks to follow that ball game. You can visit Indians.com and get your ticket details. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Fridays at 7 o'clock, Saturdays at 4 o'clock, Sundays at 1 o'clock.
Our first look at the Birds this year. Baltimore bringing up the rear in the American League Eastern Division. They won today, snapping a 5-game losing streak. Beat Houston 3-2. Michael Bourne takes a strike.
Keuchel on the mound. I know they didn't beat Keuchel, but he started that game.
Yeah, it was 2-2, I think, when he came out. Michael Bourne takes a strike. It's quickly 0-2. Bourne 3 for 6 in the series. All 3 hits came last night. Off the glove of Young, and he's got another base hit here.
There's like an octopus out there. He catches everything, man. I'll tell you, that ball, it looked like he's so tall, it deflects off the glove. The ball he caught off Brantley surprised me. Look at, there's that ball. He just sticks out a limb.
Chris Octa-Young.
And it deflects past. There you see Infante was going to his right, and then it gets into the outfield. Bourne was thinking about two right there again. So second hit for the Indians.
And it brings up Roberto Perez. Squares around, but bunts it foul. Now the Royals got their leadoff man aboard in the first. Alcides Escobar stole second, but he was stranded at third. Indians with their leadoff man aboard for the first time tonight. And you've got Jason Kipnis coming up next. Pulls it back.
They're trying to move him along. I mean, Perez does a nice job of sacrificing, but I'd like to see him put something on, maybe start the runner here instead of giving up an out here in the third inning. Just concentrate on putting the ball. You got to hit the ball on the ground if you're going to do a hit and run. You got to prove to your manager if he puts it on, that's what you can do.
And that's a strike. 1-2 the count. This is a pitch to bunt right here. You would think it's right down the middle of the plate.
You know, it looks like he's trying to make a perfect bunt. You just have to make sure you get the ball on the ground. You know, you try and make a perfect bunt, just put it on the ground. Well, now he's going to Hacken here.
Runner goes, and it pitches down low, and Bourne's got a stolen base. It'll be his 5th on the year.
Well, Bourne had a good jump, and he's about average Chris Young to home plate. And you can see where Perez, he didn't even come out of the crouch because Bourne had a good jump. He picked the right pitch, the curveball, and that throw's going to be a little offline. He couldn't stay behind it and throw it. So Bourne gets himself in scoring position.
And now with the count back to even at 2-2. Can Perez pull it off where he gets him over to third somehow?
Well, it would be great if he could, or anyway, but I mean, you like it because they were going to sacrifice in the second anyway. Bourne stole the base. If he could do that at the bottom part of the lineup, still more bases, boy, that would add so much to this offense. It's just he has a tendency, he never runs, or he doesn't run a lot. That's only his 8th try. He's stolen 5 out of the 8.
3-2 to Perez, and he
how about that?
Gets it over to the right side of the infield, moves him over to third base. So he gets the job done, and there's one out here in the third. Let's go down to Andre.
You know, guys, this is our 9th game against the Kansas City Royals, and I tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but I think we've seen some of the best defensive plays we've seen against us all year long with this team. So today I went around and talked to people that I respect about the best defensive teams they've seen. Terry Francona said this team reminds him of the mid-'80s St. Louis Cardinals. And some other people bring up the Toronto Blue Jays in the days of Tony Fernandez at short. They play defense unlike any other team because of the athletes. Where does it mark for you, Mr. Manning?
I think they're a very good defensive team. I'm not going to compare them.
There's a base hit in the right field, and the Indians take the lead. Jason Kipnis with his 26th run batted in on the year. batting .300 with runners in scoring position. It's a key stat for Kipnis because he's not necessarily the prototypical leadoff man. He's done a phenomenal job since going into that top spot in the lineup, but he's just been such a good all-around hitter this year that now you get that guy on at the bottom of the lineup and you can take advantage of his abilities offensively when he comes up with a guy in scoring position.
Yes, and he got on top of a high fastball to make that arm McDonald's. I'm loving it. And so the stolen base pays off. You move him over and Kipnis is able to get him in. So the Indians get the lead early tonight.
That's how you combat that defense. You hit them where they ain't.
Well, you try to. But getting back to Andre, this defense the Royals has, I really, they're so strong up the middle when you got Perez behind home plate. Escobar, I love at shortstop. He just plays every day and he gets the job done. And now that Kane has gone into center field, he can track him down with the best of them. You've got a Gold Glover, 4-time, 5-time Gold Glover in left field and at first base. So I'll tell you what, I don't compare them to anybody. They're just, I'm comparing them to the 2015 Kansas City Royals because they're really good. And you have Dyson now on the bench who can fly and he can come in, but Rios is not a bad outfielder as well in right field. He just hasn't been out there enough this year. Moustakas is solid.
Rip fair down the right field line. Kipnis on his horse, headed to third. Rios digs it out, hits the cutoff man, and Kipnis has to stop at third base. It's a double for Santana, and the Indians have runners at second and third with one out here in the third inning. For Santana, his 8th double on the year.
That's why I was glad to see Santana go, even though that ball ricocheted off the wall. Because when you hit a ball and there's a guy on first base that can run a little bit, you're going to line up going to home plate. So second base was not even covered. That's why I wanted to see Santana go. The throw was going to come in to home plate or toward home plate. So they've got second and third now with one out.
And now you've got Michael Brantley coming up, who's hit .321 this year with runners in scoring position and a chance to have a big inning. Put a crooked number up on the board here in the third potentially.
There's one guy you'll see that's going out of the full windup with guys in, on third.
Blocked nicely by Perez. Brantley hit the ball hard his first time up, but literally hit it right into the glove of Chris Young. This one is hit to right field. That's a base knock. Scoring on the play is Kipnis. Santana stops at third, and the Indians lead it 2-0 as Brantley picks up RBI number 32 on the season, and that's 3 straight hits in the inning.
Well, I was watching Santana, and he ran second base very well because Brantley smokes this ball. He had to make sure it was going to get down, but he realized it, and then he started to come and try and score. He caught a fastball in there, and what's wrong with Santana? I think something's wrong with him at third base. He may have pulled it because he kicked it in gear to try and score, and then Sarbaugh had to hold him up, rounding third. So nice swing by Brantley. The Indians take a 2-0 lead, but now we've got a little conversation going on at third base. It has to be with him rounding, because he kicked it into gear when he took off and he realized that Rios wasn't going to catch it.
Says he's okay. Looks like maybe a quad, right?
That's what he's pounding up there. We'll see. It's first and third, 3 straight hits, 4 hits in the inning. Take advantage.
Well, here's big Brandon Moss. Applied to center his first time up, and he takes a called strike. Moss 4 for 9 in the series with a double and a home run. Down and in, swings over the top. It's 0-2. Lays off. Three on the right side of the infield for Kansas City. Outfield swung around toward right as well. And he strikes out. That is a huge out for Chris Young. 2 down.
That's the high fastball. He set it up early, though, when he went with that breaking stuff down in the zone. That's a pitch you want to elevate and hit in the air. But with 2 strikes, Moss comes up empty.
We'll see if David Murphy can deliver a 2-out RBI hit. .106 out of the 108 at bats David Murphy has this year have come against right-handed pitching. It has been a solid platoon system between he and Ryan Rayburn. Fouled on the right side. 1-1. Back. And the count is now 1-2. Ed Yost, the all-time leader in games managed here in Kansas City at 822. That ball's in the dirt. Carlos Santana's at third base. Michael Brantley is at first. With 2 down, the 2-2. Murphy with a fly ball deep center field. Kane racing back. Still going back. Can't get it. One hops the fence. Scoring is Santana. Brantley coming around third. He scores 2. David Murphy with a mammoth 2-out, 2-run double to straightaway center field. Makes it a 4-run third for Cleveland.
Boy, how about that, picking up your teammates right there. Murph hit the ball on the nose his first time up, and I'll tell you, Kane made a terrific catch there, but this time he's going to burn him right here with our Yellowwood bringing the lumber, and it is a line drive, and Kane's going back, and you get it over his head, you've earned it. So a 2-run double for Murphy, a 4-0 lead for the Indians. Great inning. Now it turned into a great inning.
Yes,
with that
indeed.
Hit.
And now Lonnie Chisenhall watches one bounce in the dirt. Perez pounces on it quickly, and Murphy holds at second base. You just don't see many balls hit over center fielder's head in this park, whether it's Lorenzo Cain or Gerard Dyson or whoever's outfield out there. You can't have a slow-footed guy.
I watched him. He turned his back. You read his name and his number on that jersey. So for that ball to get over his head, it was smoked.
Lonnie sends a high fly ball to center. Kane camps under it and makes the catch. The Indians score 4 times. 5 hits in the inning. Kipnis, Brantley, Murphy drive them home. 4-0 Cleveland. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Bottom of the third, Indians on top 4-0, and Omar Infante leads it off and takes a called strike. In the dirt. Infante is in a funk offensively.
Uh-oh. See that?
He just bloops one in. How do you like that?
Should have waited till he was out.
He was 0 for his last 12, 2 for his last 33. And last night we saw him swing at anything that was close.
Well, this one had a little, it was plate. It was down, mind you. It was down, but it had a little bit of the plate. He was swinging at pitches going away from him, the sliders. But give him credit, he got enough of it to get a base hit there. The first hit by the Royals tonight.
Alcides Escobar steps in. He walked his first time up. Not that you ever went through a 2 for 33 spell in your career, but
I'm sure I went through some slumps.
What happens to a hitter in his mind that causes him? I mean, there were balls that were literally a foot to 2 feet off the plate. He was swinging at them last night.
Sometimes you just lose focus. Sometimes you lose confidence, and you think you need every swing you're going to take, and you don't feel real good. You don't think you're going to hit the ball. It may seem like there's 20 guys out there in the field that can catch it when you do hit it hard. Once you get that out of your mind and you just forget about it, it seems to work. Don't think. Easier said than done.
Oh, sure. 1-1 pitch to center field. Bourne got a great jump and makes the catch. When we hear a hitter say, boy, right now I'm seeing the ball really well, is that more of a statement of their confidence than actually the vision part of it?
No, visually you're seeing the ball great. And sometimes when you're in a slump, you don't pick it up. You don't know. Maybe you're not zeroed in. I don't know. No, but when you're swinging good, you just have confidence. You see the ball coming out of their hand. You pick everything up. You pick the spin up. And everything seems easy. Everything slows down. When you're struggling, it seems like the ball's on you. You can't hit anything.
Yeah.
And, you're swinging at everything.
Well, sometimes when you watch a hitter who's struggling, as Moustakas pops one up, shallow left, Avila's going to go out. It looks like they're swinging defensively as if the pitcher's throwing it from 40 feet away.
Yeah, they're not giving themselves enough credit. It's like we get up and look in the mirror one day. You don't feel real good about how you look. It doesn't matter what you put on. You're still ugly. I don't know. It's a self-confidence thing, and all players go through it. Some less than others. The ones that have the confidence, the good hitters. It's different for everybody, and a lot of it is mental.
Lorenzo Cain fly to center, his only time up. I hope these aren't rain clouds moving in from over.
Yeah, they're a little dark. I wasn't thinking about that. Let's go. Just keep going. Don't
see a lightning flash off in the distance.
No,
it wasn't it.
I didn't know.
I'm seeing things.
Yes.
Okay, 1-0 pitch. Power of positive thinking by Rick Manning.
It's right now. We've got a 4-0 lead here in the third inning. We don't need anything to happen.
Boy, speaking of that same subject, I was talking to Terry Francona yesterday, and in his office here in Kansas City, they have old baseball cards, blowing up poster size of all the old managers. And one of the managers in there was Chuck Tanner, who he got to
friends
know.
with Dad.
Yeah, and he said Chuck Tanner had a way about him. He said he could make you feel like the most important person in the room when he was talking to you.
There's no doubt about it. He was one of the nicest guys.
There's a drive to deep center field. Bourne's looking up. This baby is gone. Holy mackerel. Lorenzo Cain, a 2-out, 2-run homer to straightaway center field. the Royals are on the board. And again, it's the 2-out hit, and Lorenzo Cain came into tonight batting .390 on the year with 2 outs. That was 3rd best in the American League.
Well, he hit a bomb right there. I mean, that one, he cut the lead in half in a hurry. He got a fastball down the middle of the plate, and he stayed back behind it and got, look at it, everything into it. He was leaning.
Yeah.
And look where this ball hits. He was mad that ball was hit over his head. Well, he hit one a little bit farther. Well, they're on the board now. It's 4-2, and Kansas City continues to do it with 2 outs.
422 feet. That was a poke. Hosmer spun out of the way, and he glares back out at Trevor Bauer.
He's not going to let him dig in. I think it's a good pitch. Leaning out over the plate, 1-0 count. You figure he's looking away.
Breaking ball down and in, 3-0. And Hosmer. Oh, did he have a vicious hack there?
Yes, he did. He has the right 3-0 count. He wanted to take him out of the yard for throwing up and in. But he got one just above the belt.
Bounced it in there, and it's ball 4. And Hosmer still staring and glaring at Bauer as he takes his base with 2 down in the inning. Kendry Morales fly to center in the 2nd inning. Base hit left center. Hosmer is going to go to 3rd, and the Royals have runners at the corners with 2 down.
Yeah, Morales just taking what is given, and that's a base hit the other way, and this is another 2-out hitter for the Royals, but you keep things rolling. He got a fastball out over the plate, didn't try to pull it. You can see where Chisenhall was. He was over on that side, but that's not close enough to second base. Hosmer able to go to 3rd.
Yeah, Morales 1 point better than Lorenzo Cain, batting with 2 outs, .391 average coming in.
So Callaway comes out. So give us time to I want to congratulate Phil Mann, who's retiring as a battalion chief after 32 years with the Shaker Heights Fire Department. Phil, congratulations and good luck with whatever else you're going to do. Your retirement. Enjoy. So the Royals able to come back and answer the Indians' 4-run inning. 4-run top half. Crowd wants to get into it. This would be a big out for Trevor Bauer.
And Gordon looks at a ball in off the plate. Gordon drew a walk his first time up. To Santana, who smothers it, steps on the bag, and the inning is over. Royals get on the board on the 2-run homer by Lorenzo Cain. 4-2 Cleveland after 3. Tonight after Indians Live, head on over to Fox Sports Ohio for Cavaliers Live following Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Fred, AC, and Allie will be live in Oakland with post-game coverage from the locker room. Jeff and Campy will anchor coverage from the watch party at the Q. Cavaliers Live hits the air tonight following Game 1 only on Fox Sports Ohio. Here's Mike Aviles. Fly to right, his only time up in the second. Shoots one towards first, fair ball. It just feathered its way by Eric Hosmer, and Aviles will head to second base. The throw is offline, and he's in there safely with a leadoff double. And maybe the softest double you'll see, but it doesn't matter.
I like what you say. He feathered it. Yes. It was floating because Hosmer realized he wasn't going to get there. It was a little slider out over the plate off the end of the bat. Look at. He wasn't going to get there, and it was up to Aviles to just go to second base and challenge Rios for throwing that ball. So that's a double for Mike. That's double number 5, and they come right back and start this inning off. If they cut that ball or stopped it, it would have been closer.
Now get him over, get him in. Take some of the momentum back. Bourne lays down a good bunt. Moustakas only played at first. One away. Here's our AT&T Uverse rewind. Let's go back to the third. And then it was Jason Kipnis with an RBI single that got the Indians on the board. And 2 batters later, Michael Brantley smoked it. Line drive to right to drive in a run. And when with 2 outs, David Murphy driving one over the head of Lorenzo Cain. Plate 2 more.
Well, I'll tell you, 2 out base hits go a long way. The Indians scored 2 with 2 outs, and then so did Kansas City in their half of the inning. But the Indians can come right back here now. Perez can get this runner in from third.
Up high, ball 1. It's a called strike. And he takes a fastball. Field in the pitch. Swung on and missed. Perez strikes out, 2 down.
Well, he gets his 3rd strikeout and he set it up. You knew once he took the fastball, he wasn't going to see another one in that at bat. And Young, the veteran, comes back and gets young Roberto Perez to swing and miss. So now it's up to Kip to try and get a 2 out base hit.
Now Jason Kipnis will try to deliver with 2 outs. Looks at ball 1 outside. Good block by Perez. And the count is 2-0. Mentioned last time up, Jason Kipnis began the night batting .300 with runners in scoring position. He's got another opportunity here after driving in a run last inning. Chris Young's 3-0 pitch upstairs, ball 4.
He didn't want any piece of Kipnis there. Well, it's going to be Corey Kluber Cy Young bobblehead day on Saturday as the Indians will take on the Baltimore Orioles, and 17,000 fans will get Kluber's bobblehead. That'll be courtesy of Sugardale. Get your tickets at Indians.com. That's the first walk by Young. But it just looked, after Kipnis got on that high fastball his last at bat, to me it looked like he didn't want to throw him a strike. He'll take his chances here with Santana. Good jump.
Kipnis steals it uncontested. That'll be his 7th steal of the year. So now 2 in scoring position for Santana, who doubled inside the bag and down the right field line last inning. Santana takes a strike to even the count. And just a bit outside. Weird, Rick. It feels like the breeze is now blowing straight in because you can feel it here in the booth. But the flags indicate that it's blowing out toward right field.
Maybe Cirque coming in and just doing a little U-turn here.
Santana drives one but fouled on the right side, out in front of it. And it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Indians leading 4-2. But they've got a chance to add to it here with Mike Aviles at third and Jason Kipnis at second. 2 down in this 4th inning. Indians have scored 4 off Chris Young. That's the most he's allowed this year. He gave up 4 his last time out against New York in 6 innings. The 2-2 out of play. Strikes him out. Ends the inning. Tribe misses out on an opportunity to add to their lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Indians up a pair. You take a look at our T-Mobile game changer, Brandon Moss. He likes Kauffman Stadium. Last 2 seasons, he's done some pretty pretty considerable damage here.
Well, he says he sees the ball well. It seems like the pitcher's farther back. Comfort zone, good hitting background. Even though it's a big park, he loves it.
Alex Rios leading off for Kansas City takes a strike. And a foul back quickly, 0-2. Kansas City will welcome in Texas for the weekend while the Indians head home to take on Baltimore. The 1-2 pitch. Rangers are going to start a young man by the name of Chichi Gonzalez tomorrow.
Yeah. Didn't he get a win in his first start?
Yep. Didn't give up a earned run. 2-2 fouled back. So from 0-2 to 3-2.
Yeah, he's been able to throw the fastball. He wouldn't bite on the curveball, though, the 3 times he threw it in the dirt.
And he walked him on 4 straight after he had 2 strikes on him.
Yeah, that's not what you want to do. That's
He's walked
4
the
walks
leadoff
now.
man 3 times tonight. Well, no, I take that back. Twice. Alex Gordon walked 1 out in the second inning. Up comes Salvador Perez, who struck out to end the second inning.
Well, he finds the zone with that breaking ball there.
Perez, a guy who will bang into some double plays. He leads the team. He's hit into 9. But Bauer only has 1 ground ball out so far tonight. Another pop. Center field. Bourne is in. 1 away.
Well, Sunday will be Kids Fun Day. And 5,000 kids are going to receive a T-shirt courtesy of UH Rainbow Babies and Children's Hospital. And you can run the bases after the ball game as well. Get your tickets at Indians.com.
One out for Omar Infante. Moved a single into left field and scored on the homer by Kane last inning.
See, Infante's a good fastball hitter. We were talking about him earlier when he had the first hit. You know, and a lot of times he'll chase breaking balls, but when he gets his fastballs, he took one right there. That's when you're caught in between sometimes as a hitter.
I guess that's what happens too when you see guys chase bad pitches. They probably, you go up to the plate with a plan. I'm going to look for fastballs, and when you're in a slump, somehow you end up swinging it.
You take your fastballs and swing at breaking balls.
Yes.
That's what you do. Either that, or you think every pitch is a perfect pitch. You know that, and that comes back to where you're not picking it up very well.
And that was a tremendous fastball, but that had some run to it, bearing in on Infante.
Yeah, it was. It was upstairs and it was running inside, and it kept bearing down. And once you start swinging at it, you can't stop. He had a good swing at it though.
Rios at first with 1 out. Breaking ball hit to left. Murphy's there. 2 down. And it'll turn it over to the top of the order in Alcides Escobar. Another nice pick by Perez on a ball in the dirt. And it's called a strike, 1-1. Throw over to first. Rios back standing. He has 2 steals on the year. And that foul right back. 1-2.
Now you may take a chance and see if Rios wants to start. You figure maybe a breaking ball in this situation, a curve ball. Pay attention to him.
Is there a sign that can be given to a base runner in a situation like this that is a go if you get a good jump, go if you feel like going?
Yeah, there may be one starting in that hole. Yeah, instead of must go. Yeah, if you get a jump. Yeah, there used to be a sign. It's a very simple one. You know, you just may pick a side of your pants or something. If you get a jump, go ahead. And there it is. I knew he was going to run on a curveball situation, but he gets the strikeout.
Escobar down swinging. 4th strikeout for Bauer. He works around a leadoff walk, and after 4, it's the Indians up by 2. your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. By the Cleveland Clinic. Call for an appointment today. And by the game-changing all-new Ford F-150. The future is tough. We head to the 5th inning with the Indians up 4-2. And we'll get a look at our Buick stat of the game. Most hits in divisional play over the last 2 seasons. Well, Michael Brantley right there with Jose Altuve.
Shouldn't surprise you. 1 and 2 in the league last year in hitting, right? And number of hits.
D. Gordon surprises me. I would not have expected him to be in the conversation there. But
he's leading the National League in hitting. He's having a nice year.
He got caught in an embarrassing play. I think it was last night. He stole second base. He overslid the bag, but the guy never tagged him.
So the umpire never called him out.
The umpire called him safe, but he wasn't looking at the umpire and just thought he was out. He got up to run off the field. They had to run him down and tag him at third.
Manny Ramirez.
Yeah.
Remember he stole second. They said foul ball. You got to go back to first.
And they tagged him out. Brantley an RBI single in the 3rd for Cleveland. You can see him shift his hips and his feet on that pitch, but didn't pull the trigger.
Yeah, 3-0 count. He's going to make sure he gets in the zone.
And that one he didn't think was a strike, but it's called. Full count.
Well, let's see that ball. It's running away. It's running away. It's probably outside. Michael's not going to swing at that pitch because he says it's a ball, and you got to believe him. But still, it's 3-2. So he has another shot at him.
Takes a moment to readjust here. And foul back. Another 3-2 back. Down low, he draws a leadoff walk. Clip of the game from last night. Brandon Moss with a gap shot to right center, driving home Ryan Rayburn with an RBI double. It's one of his 4 hits so far in the series. And he stands in here with Brantley at first to start the inning. Oh, he had a good pitch, fouled it back. The 12 doubles for Moss, tied for 11th in the American League coming into play today. And he fouls it back again. He's in the hole 0-2.
Just above hitting zone right there for Moss.
Left-hander Franklin Morales about to loosen up in Kansas City's bullpen. May only be the 5th inning, but anytime a manager sees a pitcher issue a leadoff walk, especially after the long 3rd inning that he labored through.
Yeah, and Young is usually most a 6th inning pitcher. That's the longest he's gone this year. 3 times he's gone 6 innings. The other 2 times 5 and 5 2/3. And When you have a guy out here that doesn't have overpowering stuff, it could happen in a hurry. So you have to make sure that bullpen is ready.
Going through the lineup here, third time around.
Right.
Moss hits a long fly ball deep right center field, gone to Souvenir City. Brandon Moss with his 10th home run of the year. RBIs number 31 and 32. It's a 6-2 Cleveland lead.
Well, that's the fourth time Brandon Moss has been able to get him, and that's why he swings at that high fastball, because he continues to come at you. He had it just above it earlier in the at bat, but he got this one.
And it was an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah, watch this. He wants it up, but Moss got to it. It was away. He fouled off other pitches, but he didn't foul that one off, baby. That's number 4. A 2-run shot makes it a 6-2 game, and it can happen quickly. So Moss, his 10th homer, give him 32 ribbies. That's a big hit there.
Second home run of the series, and again he continues to thrive here in Kansas City.
He may want to stay here when we go fly back tonight. He's this ballpark.
Little topper towards first. Hosmer waits back on it, flips it to Young. One away. In-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Michael Brantley, one of 5 Indians hits in that third inning as the Tribe would score 4 times. 2 of them came home on that double by Murphy. Royals answer back in the third on a 2-out 2-run homer by Lorenzo Cain. But again, here in this 5th inning, Brandon Moss with a 2-run homer to restore the Indians' 4-run advantage. Now Lonnie Chisenhall 1 for 2 tonight. Lonnie lines one to Hosmer, 2 down. Brandon's teammates out in the bullpen had some fun with him the other night. It was his 100th career home run that landed in the Indians bullpen. They jokingly put together a ransom note if he wanted the ball. A number of them put down outrageous requests just to have some fun. And Moss said after the game, he said, "Yeah, I autographed a pair of used batting gloves and gave it to him."
Well, he should have known he was going to get another one here. That was the 4th home run given up by Young.
Routine bouncer to short. Escobar throws him out. The inning is over, but Brandon Moss blast off 6-2 Cleveland. 6-2, the Indians on top here in Kansas City, trying to win the series and make it a tremendous road trip. They won 3 out of 4 from Seattle.
It'll be their 4th winning series on the road consecutive, starting in Texas, Chicago, and we went to Seattle, and they have an opportunity to do it here, and it'll be the first losing series for the Royals at home on the year. They're 7-0-1 out of their first 8 series here at home. So this would be a big feat here for the Indians.
Trevor Bauer working here in the bottom of the 5th against Mike Moustakas, who takes a strike. Bauer just over 70 pitches on the night, 44 strikes. Moustakas swing and a miss. Nice. Whoa, he chased one down and in. Good pitch by Bauer. And that's 5 strikeouts now for the Indians right-hander.
Out of the zone. You get him to swing at a ball, and that's the curveball down, and then that ball bounced right around the front of the plate. But he likes it down there. Let him swing at that all day long. Out number 1 of the inning.
And up comes Lorenzo Cain. He leaned into one last time up, hit a 2-run homer to straightaway center. As we have mentioned so many times, this is not a homer friendly park, and he hit it to the big part of the yard.
Yes, he did.
To short. Aviles waits back, long throw across.
Nice.
Perfect strike by the shortstop. 2 down.
Watch how he stayed back on that ball. I mean, his hands came through and lifted it. He had everything, every ounce of energy into that one.
You know what was also interesting to me on that last shot? I don't know if we can go back, if it's even worth going back to look at it. But when you saw Bourne get to the fence, just to Michael's right were the giant divot footprints from Lorenzo Cain the previous inning when he went back on the double that David Murphy hit.
Oh, you mean in the warning track?
Yeah, I mean, it looked like gigantic, looked like Bigfoot tracks. Look at the giant marks.
I see it right
just
under
to the left of
410.
Bourne. Yeah.
Well, they, I think, lengthened this warning track by 5 feet this winter, or before the year started, for Lorenzo Cain.
That ball, I think it went into the Indians dugout just over that railing. Yeah, it did. It stayed in the Tribe dugout. But there's a look at that warning track. I'm trying to remember when they replaced it. They had the rubberized track at one time.
It's been a while.
And then they put the dirt.
But his strides are so long.
Chopped to second. And a good inning for Trevor Bauer. He sets him down 1-2-3 for the first time tonight.
Offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Salazar. Just visit Indians.com/season tickets for the complete details.
Our Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen is for left-hander Franklin Morales for Kansas City. Morales making his 20th appearance of the year. 3 wins, no losses, ERA .348. Walked 4, struck out a dozen in 20 2/3 innings. Opposition batting just $1.89 against him. For the Indians, it'll be Michael Bourne, Roberto Perez, and Jason Kipnis due up.
Yeah, and the Indians tacked on the most young runs that Chris Young has ever given up this year, 6 in his 5 innings. So his last 2 starts, a little shaky.
Swing and a miss at a breaking ball.
Morales just pitched a 1/3 of an inning in game 1. Came on, he retired Michael Brantley, and that was that.
You know, we sometimes talk in sports about the bounce of the ball and how fortuitous it can be one way or the other depending on your vantage point. Bourne's first time up, he hit a bouncer back to the mound. It glanced off the glove of Chris Young and carried him into right field for a leadoff single.
Right.
If he gloves that ball and throws him out like he did to Brantley in the first, maybe the Indians don't score a run. Oh, what a barehanded grab and a throw to first, but oh, they call him out.
Well, they're going to take a look at it. Bourne may feel like he beat it out.
It's a heck of an effort.
Yes, it is.
It was a tremendous grab on the bare hand by Escobar. But I thought, just from the naked eye, it looked like Bourne beat the play out. Let's see if we get no review coming from Terry Francona.
Okay. That was a tremendous play. Watch, he's on the run. And I mean, this ball, it wasn't dying. Oh, you know what he did? He bounced it right off the grass, realized he didn't try to get it there. Give me a one-hopper. It's like a throw from the outfield to the catcher. Boy, awfully close. Bourne felt like he might have beat it. And it was that close.
But you go back to that inning and you wonder, you know, if he grabs that ball and you don't get your leadoff man aboard, maybe nothing transpires the rest of that inning, because
sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. That's true. That happens to everybody. Over the course of the year, you have them up and down a number of times. Ball goes down the line. Does it hit chalk or not? No. You know, it's foul. You're going good. It seems to hit fair.
Swing and got a piece of that.
This is the one you're talking about. Look at, he puts his glove out off the end of it. It gets past Infante into the outfield. So there's your single to start the inning. He came around to score.
Yeah, he scored the first of 4 runs in that 3rd inning for Cleveland.
That's what they call it, I guess, in basketball, the 50-50 plays. You know, where you got to get down and you get dirty. Those 50-50 plays go your way. You're in good shape.
Roberto Perez with a base hit, his first hit of the night. Well, and look, at the end of the day, and I think anybody who's coached or managed or even played sports would attest that, look, there's always going to be some breaks that either go your way or go against you. It's what you do after that that matters most. Do you take advantage of the break, or on the other side, do you knuckle down and get tough and play tougher and negate that bad break, or do you just sort of cave in? You know, I mean, a lot of that.
You know, there's that old saying, you make your own breaks. You know, if you do get let's say a good call or something good that happens, you do have to take care of it. You have to take advantage of it.
Kipnis sends one to left field. Pretty well struck. Gordon back. And now backpedaling, spins around and makes the catch. Out number 2, and Perez darts back to first. Now coming up on Monday, don't miss Team USA's first game as they play Australia at 6:30 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Plus games all weekend long on Fox, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2. And it's all streaming live on Fox Sports Go. It's the Women's World Cup. You think back to take that, a step further. You think back to the best teams that you can think of. You look at those Indians teams of the mid-90s. You think of the Yankees teams that won all the world championships with Derek Jeter. You make a mistake against those teams, and the old saying, it's like bleeding in front of a shark. You're not going to have a good outcome. You give them extra outs, you make an error, you don't turn a double play. They will take advantage of it, and they'll find a way to beat you because of it.
Yeah. Well, that's why at this level, every team is good enough. They do find a way to take advantage of it.
A seeing eye single for Carlos Santana, just between Moustakas and Escobar. And it keeps the inning alive now.
10 hits now for the Indians. That one was up. Upstairs, Santana muscles it through. So he's 2 for 4.
Think about the inning Alcides Escobar's had. He had that bare hand grab and terrific throw to get Michael Bourne. Then he had one hit just to the left of him for a base hit, and one hit just to the right of him for a base hit. Running him ragged here in the 6th inning. Now Michael Brantley, who drove in a run in the 3rd with a base hit and scored, walked and scored ahead of the Moss homer in the 5th. Of all the stats that we throw out about Michael Brantley, and here's yet another one. Mike Pacta, our expert research analyst, said last night the thing that impresses him the most, he doesn't go without a hit. He hasn't gone back-to-back games without a hit all year.
Yeah, well, that's how consistent he is.
Bounce to first base. Hosmer has it. He'll flip it, and the inning is over. Terrific play by Alcides Escobar may have saved the Royals a run here in the 6th.
Right field, the district for $2 Miller Lite cans when the Indians will take on the Baltimore Orioles, and fans get a 12-ounce Miller Lites for $2 from 5 to 7. Tickets going quickly. Get them at Indians.com.
Henry Morales to lead off the bottom of the 6th for Kansas City. First ball swinging. Santana has it. And Bauer kicks the bag after taking the feed for out number 1.
High fastball there to Mike Moustakas. A good curveball to Hosmer. Another curveball to Perez. Look at the curveball. They said the high fastball, the curveball could be their kryptonite, and it has been. He had the one high fastball, the rest of them coming on curveballs. He has 5 tonight. He's mixed it up beautifully, and again, he's having a nice start here on the road.
And Alex Gordon takes a called strike.
You know, Bauer, one of those guys, if there is something wrong or a flaw in his game, he's going to go right to work on it. He'll be the first one to do whatever he can to fix it. That's what you got to love about this kid. He will not stay put. He will work on it, and he will get busy to get after it. It was the 1 inning. He's given up 3 hits. They all came back in the 3rd inning. That 3rd inning must be their inning, because that's when they got Kluber last night. Now that I think about it.
Down low. Foul back. Lays off. Full count. And the payoff pitch is hit to center. Bourne will make the chest high catch. 2 down. And that will bring up Alex Rios. Well, you and I both agreed back in Goodyear before the season began that Trevor Bauer appeared to be primed to have a big year. Now, big could be categorized a lot of different ways, I suppose. But,
well, just something special.
First start out of the chute, he pitched no-hit baseball for 6 innings against Houston. So
right.
I guess we should have known that even though he did have 5 walks in that game, he punched out 11. He's been better with the walks, not as many. Still has them.
Well, everyone's going to walk people.
But,
you know, the thing about Bauer, he gets better and better every time. He grows up, he matures, he goes through it, he gets it. And you constantly change. He's not a guy to stay put and let the game roll by him. He's one that's going to make adjustments, stay ahead of the curve, and continue to work at it.
What I am most impressed about lately is after a rough start against Minnesota on May the 8th, he's put together 4 straight starts, not including tonight, but his previous 4 starts.
Look at the innings.
7 innings or more every time out,
right,
and 2 runs or less in all 4 games.
And he's got a chance to do that again tonight.
Grounded to third. Fair ball. From behind the bag, Chisenhall's throw on the money. And Trevor Bauer has retired 10 Royals in a row. Is brought to you by Kia. Visit mykiacleveland.com to learn more. By Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture and freestanding locations. And by AT&T Uverse, has more channels on the go than cable. 6-2, Cleveland leads it as we go to the 7th inning. Royals go back to their bullpen for right-hander Jason Frazier. Frazier replacing Franklin Morales, who worked a scoreless inning, though he did allow 2 hits. Frazier has been almost unhittable. 15, well, not necessarily unhittable, but tough to score against him. He's given up 1 earned run in 15 1/3 innings.
Well, another veteran, you know, Madsen. They've had some added some pieces to this bullpen that have fit in seamlessly.
What's interesting with Frazier is that, you know, the 0.59 ERA, even though he's walked 9 in his 15 innings against 11 strikeouts, and he's given up 18 hits. So that's a lot of traffic.
Yes.
But he gets the out when he needs to.
He never gives in. And you're right, it's a matter of getting that big hit when needed.
Well, Moss got a big hit when the Indians needed it in the 5th, a 2-run homer. That made it 6-2 in favor of the Tribe. They have 10 hits tonight. Meanwhile, Kansas City has just 3. Every team goes through ups and downs, cold spells and hot spells as you look back at the home run by Moss. Right now the Tigers are in the midst of an ice cold spell. They've lost 7 in a row, and the folks who follow the Royals say that it just hasn't been the same team since that game in New York when Jeremy Guthrie got bombarded and they lost 14-1. They said that one of the observations that every guy looks like he's going up there trying to hit a 6-run homer. And maybe that was a product of being down big in that game, and it just sometimes it can just fester, and the next thing you know, you find yourself, you know, they won last night, a hard-fought 4-2 game, but it wasn't like they
did it in 1 inning.
Yeah.
You know, the thing of it is, Matt, is they come up there, and when you are down, the hitters have a tendency, and they're an aggressive hitting team, to expand strike zones and do more than you're capable of, instead of, all right, maybe I'll take a walk here to get something going. You know, they're not a team that walks a lot. But you know, in April when things are going good and your confidence is rolling and you need a base hit, everybody seems to be hitting. That's fine. But you're going to run into spurts where you're not going to hit. You're going to run into some good pitching, and you'll get tired as a team.
3-2 pitch. Big chopper, foul, first base side. And that's where, if the Indians have anything going for them above all else, it's the fact that when you've got good pitching, and especially when you've got really good starting pitching, you don't have to lean on your offense like maybe some other clubs have to.
Well, and Kansas City, they've been doing it. They've been doing it with a solid bullpen and very good defense. You know, because they can beat you 2-1, 1-0. They don't need a lot of runs to score, but that bullpen's going to get tired because their starters have pitched the fewest innings in baseball. So they've got to kick it in gear or get some more work out of it, because that great bullpen that the Royals do have, they could tire out.
Moss drives one foul on the right side.
Yeah, as you said, we have about 110 games to go. We're at the third pole, making the turn. I like that the Indians have played good baseball on the road for the most part this year. They've got to turn it around and have that same attitude at home.
Leadoff walk to Moss. And it's time now for a Mazda game break. Here's Al Pawlowski. All right, thanks, Al. It's a 6-2 Indians lead here in the 7th inning as David Murphy steps in. 1 for 3 tonight, a 2-run double. It came with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. It was a monster hit at the time. He really picked up Brandon Moss, because it was Moss who struck out with I believe it was Santana who was at third base and only 1 out in that inning. And then Murphy doubled home both Santana and Brantley with 2 outs.
Big hit. That turned it from a 2-run inning to a 4-run inning. And then what happens is next at bat, Moss comes up and hits a 2-run home run to pick everybody else up. So this one was crushed. I mean, it stayed in the ballpark, but you get it over the head of Lorenzo Cain, you're doing something. So that was the final 2 runs of that 4-run 3rd inning.
Outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Back out of play. Brandon Moss at first base with a leadoff walk here in the 7th. And David Murphy putting up another professional, solid at-bat here. Down on the count 0-2, but it's going to fight you tooth and nail, foul off pitches, stay alive. And that's low 2-2. Murphy trying to bloop one into left field, but it's going to hang up there for Alex Gordon. One down. Saturday baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns as the Rangers battle these Kansas City Royals, and it's baseball night in America with an AL Central matchup between the Tigers and White Sox. Coverage begins at 1:30 Eastern on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1. And if you missed it earlier, the Tigers have dropped 7 in a row. They're now 28 and 27 on the year. Minnesota beat Boston earlier, so the Twins have moved a half game ahead of Kansas City. Could pick up another half game if the Indians hang on and win, and the Indians would move back to within a game of the 500 mark and inch a little bit closer.
Well, it's starting to compact.
Yes.
The division, you know, it's
It really
starting to come back together. In this Central Division is it's a pretty competitive division.
Lonnie Chisenhall takes a strike. I was looking at the standings, Rick, and if the White Sox win tonight against Texas, you could make a case that it's the closest division in baseball. The AL East might be closer top to bottom in terms of games in the standings, but the Orioles are 5 games under 500. Bringing up the rear in the AL East. The 1-1. Chisenhall taking his time as he gets back in here. The 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 bounces away from Perez all the way over to the Indians dugout. And down to second base goes Brandon Moss on the wild pitch.
Well, Perez at one of the best at blocking balls, and you can see that one just ricocheted. It looked like it might have been off his glove and goes over to the front of the Indians dugout. So Moss will move up. He runs out, goes through the signs with a runner on second base.
First wild pitch of the year for Frazier. Danny Duffy leads the Royals with 5 wild pitches. Another arm getting loose now in the Kansas City pen. Frazier really laboring here. This would be his 20th pitch.
Yeah,
and only the 3rd batter.
You talk about pace. It's the pitchers. He slowed everything down. He has brought this game to a halt.
Jam job towards first. 2 down. Moss slides over to third. Let's go down to Andre Knott. You know, second night in a row Jose Ramirez not in the starting lineup. What's the Indians' outlook, if you will, at shortstop right now?
The outlook right now is trying to strike a balance between winning games and developing Jose Ramirez. They don't want him to feel like he's on an island right now because he didn't get the bunt down the other night. But they've got to win ball games, guys, and that's the main thing. And even in talking to Terry Francona, he goes, look, I know everybody wants to bring up Lindor. He goes, he's not ready yet. He's 21 years old. He's learning how to get better. And he's dealing with a back issue himself down in Columbus. They want Jose to continue growing and getting better, but he's got to get his legs underneath him, guys. Too many games he comes into and he's running and he's not swinging the bat with his legs underneath him. They need him to get better, or we're going to see more of Mike Aviles playing shortstop for the Cleveland Indians.
As you mentioned, Andre, winning games is the bottom line. So if right now Terry feels Aviles is his best option, he'll be out there playing every day.
You know, the other thing too, people keep making a point about Francisco Lindor being only 21 years old. Ramirez is only 22.
Right. That is correct. Youth.
I'm sorry, did you say Ute?
Yes. Youth.
Brandon Moss at third with 2 down.
Nice throw base hit would look nice here.
Aviles checks on a pitch that's close, but Frazier's been in a position all inning long where he's been nibbling. It's tough to get the close calls when you're.
That's true.
You're not pounding the zone. Same pitch. It's off the plate. He's hoping for a strike, but it's not. And now the count 3-1. Fouls that out of play, full count. I think it's Luke Hochevar out there in the bullpen, is it? Or is that Joe Blanton? Joe Blanton is getting loose.
Yes.
And the payoff pitch to first, and the human vacuum cleaner sucks it up. No runs, no hits, a man left. Stretch time in Kansas City. Indians up 6-2 in the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Stay tuned for Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio. Bottom of the 7th inning. And Trevor Bauer, 94 pitches on the night. Bullpen getting loose for Cleveland. Bauer has retired 9 straight Royals hitters in 10 of the last 11. And Salvador Perez 0 for 2 on the night takes a strike.
Mixed it up beautifully tonight. As always, an assortment, variety, changing the eye level, the speeds. There's the curveball off the end of the bat.
And David Murphy runs it down. 1 away.
You know, when you watch Trevor tonight, you can see he's challenged hitters that high fastball, but that curveball a lot of times will start where that high fastball goes by you, and you get hitters to swing and miss. There's a back foot slider. He elevates the fastball. We haven't seen a lot of changeups from him tonight or anything like that, but it's been the curveball, the high fastball, back foot slider. Struck out 5. He's walked 4. He's given up 3 hits, all coming in the 3rd inning, and that's when Kane hit the 2-run home run.
A lot of fly ball outs. He's punched out 5. Another fly ball. Right field.
Nice
Moss.
easy outs. This is a great yard to pitch in if you want to give up the fly ball.
Top of the order now, Alcides Escobar. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
This is the remedy that the starting pitching for the Indians have been doing, giving Terry deep into the ball game where you can go out and go into that bullpen and mix and match. But you get 6 outs to deal with. That's awfully nice. But with Bauer's last 4 starts, 7 innings in Seattle. Of course, he was trailing 2-0. He went 7 2/3 against the Reds, 7 1/3 against Chicago, 7 1/3 against St. Louis.
That snaps a string of 11 in a row retired by Trevor Bauer, as Alcides Escobar wraps a 2-out single to right field. And it brings up Mike Moustakas. Here comes Terry Francona. And it would appear he's made his decision. He wants the left-hander.
Yep.
So Bauer goes 6 2/3 innings here this evening. But he will leave with a 6-2 lead as Nick Hagedorn is coming on when we come back. The Indians lead it. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 outs. And Nick Hagedorn on for the Tribe to face Mike Moustakas. Moustakas is 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out twice. straight up. Is it playable? Back to the screen. Perez. No, just on the other side. And Moustakas has new life. Nick Hagedorn is on a pretty good run of late in his last 4 games. He's allowed 1 hit. That's been it. No walks. Another pop-up back. This is well out of play. Count is 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Almost chased after the off speed. Lays off. Hopefully Hagedorn is getting on the kind of run that he was on last year. From June 25th through the end of last season, the big left-hander had an ERA of just 2.14.
Look at the starter sitting there talking.
Out of play.
Well, I hope you're right, because that would be a big boost for the bullpen. You get the power arm of Hagedorn on, throwing the cutter. Take him off the fastball and that curveball. If he gets those pitches working, he can be dynamite.
Down low, 2-2. Well, Terry Francona and Mickey Callaway have not only showed tremendous patience with a guy like Hagedorn, but they've also instilled in him a great deal of confidence, because, as he says, even when he's gone through a bad spell, they don't just banish him to Siberia. They keep putting him into meaningful situations, and that certainly does a lot for a player's confidence to know that they still believe in him even after they have had a couple of rough outings.
Yeah. If Nick, I'm telling you, if he throws that curveball for a strike ever, he's going to be unhittable. I mean, a lot of times hitters won't swing because first they can't hit it, but he can't throw it for a strike either. There goes another one. So, you know, he was able to get him with fastballs. It's the breaking ball that is going to make him an elite pitcher, or he could be just an average pitcher if you don't have it. And then it's commanding the fastball if you turn into a one-pitch pitcher, which we know with anybody. You have to be, if you're a one-pitch pitcher, guys are going to, you know, sooner or later get you.
Escobar takes off on a 3-2 pitch, and that one goes to the backstop. So Hagedorn walks Moustakas, and that's it. He gets one batter. And he cannot convert, so Terry Francona will go back to the bullpen. With 2 on and 2 out here in the 7th, and the Indians on top 6-2. It looks like Brian Shaw will be next. Nick Hagedorn next to Trevor Bauer. Hagedorn got one batter, Moustakas, and he had him down on the count. That's got to be the most frustrating thing for a pitcher who essentially gets one batter a game at times. You get your guy down on the count, and then you can't put him away, and you end up walking.
Well, the thing of it is, you don't walk him in this situation. You have to make him hit their way on. But coming out of that bullpen, he did the right thing, got ahead of him, just couldn't put him away.
So now it's Brian Shaw to face Lorenzo Cain, who clobbered a 2-run homer back in the third. And Cain takes a strike. Bauer had retired 11 in a row before the little base hit by Escobar. And with 2 outs in the inning, Terry Francona deciding that was enough. 4th time through the lineup, he wanted to make a change. And so now Shaw with the 0-1 to Cain, swing and a miss, 0-2. This could be trouble. Moss over near the line, makes a running catch, and that will end the inning. No runs, a hit, 2 men left. We'll go to the 8th, 6-2 Cleveland. Of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Pay no attention to the grounds crew people running at the bottom of your screen there. 6-2. The Indians lead it as we go to the 8th inning. Michael Bourne to lead off for the Tribe. He is 1 for 2. Singled, stole a base, and scored, and a critical 4-run third as the Indians jumped out to the early lead here tonight. Blanton will face Bourne, Perez, and Kipnis here in the 8th inning. Shoots and foul, does Bourne. Swung out and missed. Bourne strikes out, 1 away. Take a look at the Indians in-game box score. Jason Kipnis had a clutch RBI hit, scored a run in that 3rd inning. Santana doubled and scored. Same inning. Michael Brantley had an RBI hit and a run scored. Murphy had the big blast, a 2-out, 2-run double, and then Brandon Moss with a huge 2-run homer in the 5th. Ground ball right at the second baseman Infante. 2 down. Well, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's go back to that 5th inning. Brandon Moss, who had struck out in the 3rd, got on top of that one and ripped it out of here. His 10th home run of the year. And Moss has now hit in 5 straight games. He has 10 hits in his last 21 at-bats.
It has arrived.
When you say it, what do you mean by that?
The thing. That big thing in the sky.
See, folks, folks are scurrying for the cover here at Kauffman Stadium. I don't know. Oh yeah, I see a few raindrops.
Oh yeah, let's start.
The 0-2. Kipnis strikes out. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 6-2 Cleveland. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and a reminder to stay tuned for Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care, coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio. And we've got breaking news here at Kauffman Stadium. For the first time this year, Jason Kipnis is not on the field during an inning of play for an Indians game. He's been replaced defensively here in the bottom of the 8th by Mike Aviles, with Jose Ramirez coming in to take over at shortstop. So Jason gets a little breather here at the end of the game. And Eric Hosmer 0 for 2, swings and misses. Isn't it funny though, Rick? Guy's out of the game for the first time all season long, and everybody crowding around him wanting to talk to him now.
Well, that was a little surprising, but it's no big deal those times.
Look at it, it's the starting pitchers. So what do you think about it? How does it feel to sit on the bench like us?
probably be back in there before you know it after 1 out, timeout.
Just kidding. Mark Zubchinski delivers, and Hosmer fouls it out of play. Light rain beginning to fall here in Kansas City.
Now, they have had their share this spring. What was it? Right before we came in, they had about 6 inches of rain. Was it yesterday?
Well, Brush Creek flooded yesterday, right next to the hotel.
Right. That's why this place is called the City of Fountains. There's always water around somewhere.
The 2-2. And a piece and stays alive. Full count. 29,552 turned out tonight here in KC for the series finale. Some of them have headed for the hills. Some of them have headed for cover. And the payoff pitch. Struck him out looking. 1 away.
Got the breaking ball on the full count. Started it a little behind them, and there you see right at the knees. Good pitch, plenty of plate, and out comes the tarp.
Wow, it's not even raining.
Well, it must be coming. They have to have, yeah, there's a big bolt of lightning straight out in center field, and they have, you know what's wrong? It's probably a big storm coming. They got to get it nailed down first.
I guess so. Seems a little strange this deep into the ball game to yank the tarp without any precipitation falling, but hey.
Well, look, he's going to go over to Francona and explain to him it's coming.
Especially for the Indians, who've got a long flight home after this and a ball game tomorrow in Cleveland. The last thing they want right now is to have to sit around and wait out a rain delay. But that is the situation. The tarp on the field as the grounds crew starts to put it in place. Raindrops falling. This was a situation tonight, though, where the Indians came in here knowing that a win would give them their 4th straight road series win and hand Kansas City their first home series loss. But, you know, like every game this year, it comes down to, can you get a good start, which they have almost every game out this year, and then can you get enough offense? Because last night they could not. They had opportunities last night, couldn't cash in. But tonight they were able to jump out early.
Yes. With
a 4-run 3rd inning against a guy in Chris Young who'd given up 4 runs in 1 start this whole year. That's how good he had been. But the Indians jumped him in that 3rd inning, and it started with a bouncing ball by Bourne that glanced off the glove of the pitcher Young, and then they kind of gave Chris Young a dose of what the Royals gave Corey Kluber the night before.
Yes, they just continued it. That was the big 2-out base hit by David Murphy. You know, that ball, it went from a 2-run inning to a 4-run inning, and that's a big number when you go against Young, because that's the most he gave up in any game in his last start, and then a big 2-run home run after that. So the Indians have been fine. 10 hits today.
Well, we're going to take a timeout while we batten down the hatches here in our television booth, because the rain is pouring in. So we'll be right back. 6-2 Cleveland, rain delay in the 8th inning.